I used to have a lot of energy. I used to look good. And then I read this little Walmart thing that said, it's like a gym. If you work for Cap 2, it's like being paid to work out. What I didn't know is that Walmart doesn't maintain their buildings whatsoever. And they don't want to. So their HVAC system, and their meat, deli, produce department, it's always wet and moist. It's just filled with bacteria, mold, funguses, mycotoxins, which are poisonous molds. And basically, mold growing in the walls, growing all over things. They have this thing called a bone barrel. So all the expired and rotten pork, beef, poultry, fish, everything goes into this unsealed bone barrel in a room that's not really kept at a good temperature. So all that bacteria is basically just festering. And then the mold from the old rundown HVAC system and the rusty shelves which grow bacteria all just kind of like comes together in this tincture of total like fucked, okay? So, you go into these jobs and you think, oh, I'm gonna, get a little bit of extra cash. What you don't realize is that you're actually being completely scammed and screwed over. So, this whole labor job shortage and everything else, it's just a total joke. They don't make jobs, they make slave positions that will, like what happened to me, take 10 years off your life. I mean, I used to actually look a lot different than what I look now. And after working there, I got poofy, circles under my eyes, my hair thinned out. Working as an Amazon delivery driver, you get dog bites on your face and various parts of your body. So, my recommendation, if you have a kid and you need them to get some extra money for college, don't subject them to these labor jobs because they're bogus. So when I was poisoned with poisonous black mold, with the mycotoxins, which are used for bioterrorism, right? I'm a total moron now. So I noticed my cognitive abilities are just completely paralyzed. And, I was prostrate for 3 months. I couldn't move. I got these mycotoxin tests done showing I had all three airborne categories. There are only three categories for airborne that they can test for, and I had all three. So, I reported it to, my employer, and they basically tried to murder me, and that's a long story. So basically, first they sent me to, I was going to go to a real, knowledgeable doctor, like what OSHA recommends. So I initially said, hey, you know what, I need help. I'm vomiting. The pain in my head on 1 to 10 is 10. I wanted to kill myself. It's so bad. They said, no, 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 go to our doctor. It's free and that's what you're supposed to do to get workers' comp and blah, blah, blah. So I went to their doctor who's not knowledgeable or qualified to even diagnose, for mold injuries. I went there for mold injury and it says so. And he gave me dangerous antibiotics. So if I had taken them for a mold injury, they destroy your the intestinal environment in your stomach, which you need to recover from mold. So I mean, you won't recover at all. You'll die. The side effects are like vomiting, jitteriness, heart palpitations, nausea, all these things that are really dangerous side effects. Steroids, you can name it. Just he gave me this tincture of random medication for me to take. And they said, you can go back to work, feeling dizzy and lacking coordination with all these dangerous antibiotics, right? Well, of course, I couldn't go back to work. I was a complete mess. And they were supposed to put me away from the meat department where the mold was. Instead, they gave me a machine that could amputate my hands and my fingers, and with me lacking coordination and feeling sick around the mold, they gave it to me to clean up all the mold, okay? So, of course, long story short, after, lying to me, saying they have an alternate job position, and just being completely cruel, I was denied workers' compensation, unemployment, a new alternate job position, a recommendation for to get a new job. They're gonna basically say I'm a terrible employee. So that's like what, defamation of character. Plus it breaks torts. It causes harm to my reputation, right? So they're completely guilty. So I hired a lawyer to take it on because I'm like, I'm dead. You know, you murdered me. What am I supposed to do? I mean, I'm relying on other people to support me right now. You couldn't even give me a job as a door greeter, you know? And the lawyer apparently, I suspect, works for Walmart. He's sold out because all he wanted to know was who else have I talked to about this after I signed him on. And then that's it. He dropped me and he says this thing will never make it to court. No one will ever review what they did to you because there's something called arbitration that you sign and it's too expensive and lawyers don't care about you. They're not going to take your case, right? So that leaves me being mentally retarded, recovering from mental retardation, to take it on myself in a civil case. I think it's like pro se case. Okay. So that's just one quick overview of labor job, and in another video I can talk about what happened to me as an Amazon delivery driver. I mean, out 9:30 late at night, my coworkers had the van almost stolen from them. Some guy comes up and he had to physically fight him off. Wild dogs, and Amazon still expects you to deliver it to the doorstep when wild dogs are like in the middle of the wilderness barking at you, protecting the property. I mean, I know you can't trust dogs. I mean, the scar on my face, okay? So that's another story. But if you call OSHA, if you call the health department, they're going to tell you they don't have equipment to test for poisonous molds, even if it's a terrorist but activity. Someone dumped mycotoxic molds in the environment to start breeding in the system. They're going to tell you, we can't test for it, it's too costly, we can't do anything for you, as long as they use a human sponge to clean up visible mold. That's all they need. They're going to pass their inspection. Holes going through the wall, mold growing inside those holes. Oh no, we're going to get sued if we shut them down to investigate this, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they give you all these numbers to call, but you get hung up on. You can't get an appointment. Even if you have like ADA, Americans with Disability Act, like maybe you have an allergy to mold, which I don't have. I got tested, okay? But you can't be around it, and they're supposed to provide you with that disability thing. You have to report it within a certain time frame, but all those appointments are backed up past that time frame. So it's a complete joke. You're not going to get help. We have all these government organizations that are just there to take your money and then throw you on the street. So there's no recourse, no justice. You're fucked. These labor jobs deserve to be one place: jail. I can't even, don't even have the time to go into how the managers have treated me, how they just like demonize you. If you're the hardest worker there, they put more work on you. It's never good enough. They just expect you to just wear out, like a disposable condom. They're going to fuck you over and then throw you away. So I don't have time to get into that one in this video, but just as a fair warning, shit on the labor jobs, poop on their desk. They're completely evil, and they're part of the problem with the United States. I mean, they murdered me. I'm screwed. I lost like 10 years youth just out of a few months, out of a year working at these labor jobs. And what can I say? Like, I try to organize against it, I guess, but I don't have time for that in this video. It's just a fair warning. I mean, if you want to ruin your life, work at Walmart. I mean, take the bullshit